Good morning. Today I'm going to show you how to make these really cool faux abalone blanks or abalone shell blanks. These have really been popular lately for people making all kinds of stuff from pens to knife handles, guitars, all kinds of stuff. It's really taken over. I've even seen some really cool rings that we've made blanks for. And we make these using the ghost colors. So it's a very simple process and you can do a lot of different things to get different variations. And today I'm going to show you how to make this type right here. To make this blank, you only need four things. You need your resin. I'm going to use Alumilite Clear. You need ghost colors, which I'm going to use two. I'm going to use Ghost Blue and Ghost Red. There's also Ghost Violet, Green, Ghost Gold. There's all kinds of variations, so you can change it up however you want. And then you need the black, or you could also do blue, green, purple, but the black is what sets off the color. So if I didn't have any black in here, I would just see light shimmers of blue and red, which looks cool. It's kind of like a mother of pearl look. But with the black, that's how you get that abalone shell look. And you can see every time you see blue or red, it's set off by the... I've got everything I need here. I've got my resin. I'm using Eye Candy Ghost Colors for the interference colors. They're awesome pigments. I've got some cups. I've got my black Alumilite dye. I'll shake that while we're talking. I've got two bigger cups for the larger quantities, my scale, my stir sticks, and of course my molds. Now I'm going to do two molds. I'm going to show you how to do a block as well as a individual. And we have, in the blue silicone, we have block molds as well as individual blanks, and in the HDPE we have individual as well as blocks. So you can do it either way you like. These are my favorite ways to do it, but just like I said before, there's an infinite number of ways you can do this, so it's very forgiving. So these two molds, I've got 600 grams and about 450 grams, so right around 1,050. So I'm going to make 500 grams of each color. So to start, I'm going to use my A, and I'm going to put 250. Actually, I'm going to go 275 just to make sure I'm not short, because sometimes my math isn't perfect. So we'll go 275 of each. And these are the main colors. These are the ghost colors, the interference colors. And the black, I need not much at all. So we will not need a lot of that. Get to 275 here. Got it. Okay, so black, I'm going to do, let's see, 275, 600. I'm going to do about 50 grams total. Got to zero it. So I'm going to do 25 A and 25 B. Alumilite Clear is a 1-to-1 ratio. And with it I get about, I don't know, it's pretty warm and humid. We're in the middle of summer here in Arizona, so I get about 6-7 minutes maybe. So what I'm going to do first, is mix up my color. I'm going to squeeze my black into here. Doesn't take much because I'm not mixing a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and stir that just a little bit. That one's pretty easy. Now these colors, the ghosts are, if you're familiar with mica, they're very similar. They're a little more powdery. So if you haven't used them, you can see they're more like, it's almost like flour, the consistency. It's a little fluffier, powdery. And everyone always asks, how much do you use? 2.5 scoops, which is very unscientific, but it's kind of a go by the feel. So that was the red. And you can already see, let me mix a little bit into here. You can already see like a red tone in the cup maybe. Hopefully the camera will pick it up. But this doesn't stir quite like mica. You have to stir it a little more to get a nice thorough mix. So that's the red, and obviously I'm going to be stirring more when I add part B, so I'm not super worried about it in the beginning here. Same thing with the blue. I'm going to do pretty good scoop, and about a half. And you can definitely go under and have a really thin color. But as far as going over, I mean, you'd have to add a ton of it to mess it up going over. So if you're not sure, you can always add a little more before you pour it. You might be able to see the blue, but you can also see how it's kind of clumpy powders, like if you were baking a cake, I guess. Although I don't think I've ever baked a cake, so I'm assuming. All right, so I'm gonna stir that up. So now, once I add part B, I have limited time. So I need to make sure everything's ready. I've got my rack here, I've got my pressure pot ready. I'm gonna mix it, I'm gonna do the coloring, and then I'm going to put them right in the pot. So you probably won't see the pot, me putting them in the pot, but you'll hear it. Okay, so I need to do 275. I'm going to zero my scale because I got my spoon in there and everything. 275. You got to be real careful pouring out of a cup because if you go over, you cannot take it out, obviously. 275. And as soon as I get done pouring this, I'm going to stir these really, really, really well. All right, I was over by a gram, which I'm okay with. This one I need 25. Come on, cup. Whoa, there we go. 26, not bad. So now it's just a matter of stirring very, very thoroughly. Scrape the bottom, scrape the sides. So we'll take the temp again. All right, we're at 93.3. Well, it dropped down to 92.7. 93. So we're almost there. I can feel if I hold the cup, it's definitely warm. The resin is feeling a little thicker when I stir it, which is all what we want. We just don't want it too thick or too cured. So like I said, we're waiting for that 95 degrees. Oh, we got 94.1, 94.4. So I'm going to give them a final stir here. Just like the final spin on Wheel of Fortune. Turn those guys off. Final stir. And if they have to sit another minute or 30 seconds, that's okay. It'll let some of that air rise. This stuff, the air really gets into it. It's kind of weird, but works out pretty cool. All right, we're 95.5, 96. So I think we're ready to start. So let me get this camera a little closer. Hopefully y'all can see that just fine. So what I like to do, we're going to do it in 2 stages. If we just filled the cavities and then poured the black, it wouldn't go all the way through. It would just be on one side of the blank. So what we're going to do is actually pour this in almost 2 halves. And you can swirl the colors around, it doesn't matter. But we're going to do that anyway with the popsicle stick and the black. So I mean, I could just pour right down the middle here. And then pour, that looks pretty full. So I got the blue on the top, I'll put some red across the top. It just doesn't matter because we're about to add a stir to it anyway. So now I'm going to use my cup. I use paper so I can give it a nice pinch, and I want to pour this really thin, like that. And what I'm going to do, the reason I'm not worried about how much it is because I'm going to drag it. So I'm dragging it through the colors. So those 2 colors, now on the singles I go back and forth once. Those 2 colors in the cavity have now been swirled a little bit long way as well. I could just try to pour the black long way with this cavity mold, but it just wouldn't look right. So now I'm just going to gently, I don't want to kill my lines too much, but I'm going to gently zigzag here. And then I'm going to do the same over here. And I'm just kind of filling it up. And surprisingly, that black will stay lower, although you do see it floating up. The bulk of it will stay at the bottom. So that's why we will add another round of black. And somehow I did some terrible math because I got a lot of extra resin here. Woo, that's a little heavier than normal, but that'll make for some different blanks. So again, I'm going to go down and back, and that gives me those lines. You can kind of see the swirl built into there. And this stuff looks very foamy on top. It's kind of weird. Pull out right at the end there. I'm just going to gently top this off. And it looks like I already muddled up some of my black there, but that probably will look pretty cool. So that is it. These are now ready to go into the pressure pot. So I'm going to load them on the rack. On the rack, it goes into the pot. Very carefully, not to spill it everywhere. And we will seal it up. So I hope you found that interesting. Just a real simple way to make some really cool blanks. Be prepared if you're going to do this for the first time to practice a few times. Every now and then I'll pour at a little bit different temperature on accident and things just don't come out as good. I will say though, even if it's not what I was going for, typically they look really cool. One time I had a bunch of extra black, so I poured it into the block and then I put the ghost colors into it and made swirls with that, and it looked amazing. And so I need to do that more actually now that I think about it. But don't be afraid to experiment, try different color combinations, try different size molds, different temperatures, but just find what works for you and you can make some really cool blanks. Thanks for watching.